Hello and welcome, this is Roy Ninjazola 90, and today I will be doing a whole new re-review on the S.H.MonsterArts SpaceGodzilla Fukuoka Decisive battle version, since my thoughts and honest opinion on the S.H.MonsterArts brand has drastically and dramatically changed, but there's still some things I do still appreciate about this figure, and I still do love and enjoy about this figure. And there's also some downsides to the S.H.MonsterArts brand, and it's one of the reasons why I'm just not collecting them anymore. And I've moved on to Hiya Toys and more other budget-friendly figure brands. But anyway, with that said, let's get started. And now, here we have the S.H.MonsterArts SpaceGodzilla Fukuoka Decisive battle version here, right here before us, in all of his evil space monster glory. As you can see, this is a well-sculpted, well-detailed, highly articulated figure sculpted by the world-famous S.H.MonsterArts sculptor himself, Yuji Sakai. And don't get me wrong, Yuji Sakai does a wonderful, wonderful job when it comes to sculpting S.H.MonsterArts figures. But however, what has deterred me from collecting them any further is the decline in quality control and the increase in price ranges. Yeah. And that's what I'm here to talk about. And also, another reason why I have stopped collecting S.H.MonsterArts figures and put that focus toward collecting other more budget-friendly figures for this channel is because, yeah, collecting S.H.MonsterArts was really taking a big financial toll on my bank account, and not a good one. But anyway, with that out the way, taking a look at this figure here, we can see his kind of like red, sort of bony, armored neck going down into his this is kind of like bony armor, I would say. It going down from his neck to his chest to his belly to all the way underneath his tail to where it tapers off at the end. As you can see, it's kind of more like a dark crimson red colorization, looking really nice. Also kind of like how they have like a glossy finish on it. It kind of gives it that shine, looking really nice. And also, you know, you can see all the little like scales in his skin and all the little folds and flaps in his body, looking really nice. Really like this figure a lot. I am definitely looking forward to when Hiya Toys puts out their version of SpaceGodzilla, but until then, this figure is going to have to fill in the gap for that. Because I'm gonna be honest, I have spent way too much money collecting S.H.MonsterArts for this channel, and yeah, it wasn't doing my bank account any favors. But anyway, going over more detail, they also done a really good job on, you know, his teeth looking very white and pretty, like he's been really getting the Colgate in there, or using like Crest, like extra whitening strips or something, which something I highly doubt SpaceGodzilla would be using, because I highly doubt that kaiju, especially evil kaiju, would more or less even care about dental hygiene or even realize that exists. But anyway, getting on to his mani-pedis there. Really nice job on the hand claws and toe claws there. I really like that. And also, we can't forget about the tusk on the side of his face, because SpaceGodzilla does have tusk. And I also like how he has a very translucent orangish yellow head crest there. Also, this head crest is, yeah, kind of sharp, so you might want to be careful with that. These figures are not made for small children, especially not made with kids in mind. So do keep that in mind. And yeah, we were talking about figures that cost in the triple digits here. So go figure. But anyway, turning him around, we can see the Fukuoka Decisive battle version is not your normal typical SpaceGodzilla colorization, because we see the dorsal spine crystals kind of alternating from the normal white color into this like pinkish rose quartz type of color as well, as you can see. But I think that gives this figure a really nice tone and a really nice flair. Just gives it kind of like that extra little charm to it, and I actually like that. That's something I appreciate about this figure. Going all the way down to the tail, where the dorsal spine crystals get smaller and turn into these little bony crystallized spikes going down the tail until they become this like crystal barbed, looking like Thagomizer type of thing at the end of his tail, which he also uses as a weapon. I wonder if that's where they got the idea for the Thagomizer for Godzilla Evolved for the MonsterVerse, but who knows? But I think that one's more based on like the design of Super Godzilla, which, yeah, speaking of Super Godzilla, Super 7 has put out a Super Godzilla figure, and yeah, it's inaccurate. It's just a recolorization of SpaceGodzilla. And that is not what Super Godzilla is, technically. Yeah, the SpaceGodzilla design is heavily based on Super Godzilla, but because the Super Godzilla design came before SpaceGodzilla, but there is some drastic night and day differences between the two. So, yeah. But anyway, because, yeah, Super Godzilla does not have these super ginormous shoulder crystals that SpaceGodzilla has. But these shoulder crystals actually do look good on this figure. As you can see, they are also like that rose quartz type of color. Like that, they have like the pink and white, like our pinkish white going on in there, which is really cool. I really like that. This is kind of based on like the scene toward the end of the movie with the final fight between Godzilla and SpaceGodzilla, where, you know, SpaceGodzilla's powers were practically draining and Godzilla was beating his bootay. But anyway, going over articulation with this figure, the head can look up like not a whole lot, like just about like that. It can look down if we tilt the torso. So if we bend the waist down, we can look down about that much. We can look right about that much and left about that much. Can't really get a full-on cranium revolvus with this figure because of the way the neck joint is designed. Because if I try that, I'm going to break it. But anyway, if you look up too far, yeah, mine's kind of stuck in there, which is good because it was coming out really easily. So that's why I use this. This is some clear nail polish, and that has worked wonders with the neck joint, but unfortunately it does not work so well on every single loose joint that you apply it to. Trust me. I've had my personal experiences with that. But anyway, torso articulation, like I just demonstrated, we could lean it down like so. We can lean like back a little bit, and we can like rock side to side slightly, not a whole lot, because the sheer sculpt of the figure just collides with itself. Arm articulation, the shoulders are on ball joints, which is located inside like the shoulder crystal sockets, as you can see, but we can swivel, well, maybe not. but all we can do is like bring the arms out about that far and bring them in about that much, not a whole lot. We can bend the elbows because we do have a really good double joint on those elbows and bend them down like so. We can swivel them all the way around a full 360 if we choose to, like so, as you are witnessing. Same is true with the other side. And we do have wrist swivels as well, so trying to show you those wrist swivels if I can get it correctly. Oh boy, trying to be careful with this one because this one's kind of tight. And just to be frank, I got this one off of Tamashi Nation's official Amazon store. So yeah, if you're wondering how I got this one when it was sold out everywhere, Tamashi, S.H.MonsterArts and Tamashi Nation's official Amazon store still had them. So I think I had to get this one like all the way out of Japan. So yeah, about that, Japan. Well, actually Japan. I'm just messing. But anyway, the hip joints, we can, well, you can't really come out too much actually because of the sculpt, but we can kick forward like, well, actually we can rotate those hips about that far back, so we can go about, yeah, we might have to put this one down first. Nope. So yeah, we do not have symmetrical articulation with the hip joints, so that's a downside. So yeah, about that, because I've noticed that with S.H.MonsterArts, some of like the arm and leg joints sometimes, especially like the hands, are not symmetrical with certain figures. And I have never had that experience with Hiya Toys yet. And I hope I don't. I hope I continue to see symmetry, consistent symmetry with the Hiya Toys brand. Because I feel like I've been burned by S.H.MonsterArts one too many times. But anyway, we do have a double joint at the knee, so we can bend those knees back about that far, and then forward about that much. We also do have a ball joint knee ankles, so we can point that foot up, point it down like so, and if we can, rotate all the way around like so. Same is true with the other foot, so point down, point up, and rotate all the way around a full 360, as you can see. Tail articulation. We do have a lot of articulation segments in the tail, although the tail on this one, despite its length, feels kind of a bit stiff, but it's still doable. Now, I've heard a lot of collectors say on the S.H.MonsterArts, on the original release of the S.H.MonsterArts SpaceGodzilla, the tail felt a lot more, the articulation for the tail felt a lot more looser and fluid, where, you know, on like their more recent releases, I don't know why, but the tails have just gotten stiffer, as you can see. Try to get it at least, like, that's about as much as I can get it, and we can move it about that much. I can't really put it like down too much, like so. So we can't get it in that Godzilla versus the smog monster pose like that. So that's kind of unfortunate. But I still like this figure for what it is. Yeah. As far as the pricing goes, I would say, unless like you are like a higher income bracket, like I really don't recommend buying these, because like I don't get a whole lot per month. Anyway, I get the figures to review for this channel that I can, so that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm shying away from S.H.MonsterArts. They're just honestly got to the point where they're just unaffordable for my budget. So that's kind of where I'm at with them right now. Also, I don't feel like it's worth it anymore. due to all the quality control issues, but needless to say, I still love, enjoy, and appreciate this one for what it is. Is it a perfect figure? No. As we all thought from the beginning, we all kind of thought that S.H.MonsterArts was the end-all be-all for, you know, highly detailed, highly articulated, you know, movie-accurate, posable Godzilla figures, and, well, yeah, about that. It ended up being not as Hiya Toys that. Not exactly either, but I would say Hiya Toys is leagues better in the quality control department and way more affordable and much more reasonable with their pricing. So that's why I, you know, shifting gears to collecting more more Hiya Toys Godzilla stuff and less S.H.MonsterArts. Like, I have decided to just, not just S.H.MonsterArts, but just completely ditch the S.H. figure brand in general altogether. That is both S.H.MonsterArts and S.H. Figuarts, because I just feel like they pop apart way too easily for what you're getting. Like, I get it, they're mainly meant to be posable display pieces and not figures that's made to be fidgeted around with. I get it. So that's kind of part of the reason. If you want figures that you can pose, that you can fidget around with, that won't fall to pieces, go with more budget-friendly brands like Hiya Toys, you know, McFarlane Toys, NECA, you know, Jada Toys, because I'm looking into getting into the Street Fighter line, and definitely Hasbro with the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. As far as SH stuff, I'm definitely leaving that alone, especially other high-end brands, because I'm going to be honest, I have looked into the Storm Collectible Mortal Kombat figures, and I have looked at reviews. Yeah. A lot of them pop apart way too easily, especially in the hands and other areas in the body, because I was thinking about getting that Mortal Kombat 3 Shiva, and yeah, changed my mind after I watched reviews. But anyway, guys, if I have to give this figure a final score based on detail, articulation, and playability, believe you me, my honest opinions on S.H.MonsterArts figures have changed. I would have to give this one at least a 5. And before I ended, I forgot to get into accessories, because I did bring out his accessories. I gave it a final score already, but I'm just going to bring out accessories, because I'm not about to completely reshoot this. But anyway, let's take off his shoulder crystals here. Let's put on his battle damage shoulder crystals. This one goes on. Oh yeah, left is on this side. Yeah, confusing. I haven't put these on in a while. Yeah, I completely almost forgot to get into accessories, but I gave it the final score already, so we got that. So it's a 5. So yeah, we have these battle damage shoulder crystals on, and let's pop these off. And they look nice. So you do get some cool accessories, but pop those off. Makes me wonder if the Hiya Toys SpaceGodzilla would have the same thing. From the start, or they'd like have like 2 different editions. Most likely, Hiya Toys would probably make 2 different like variants. You would probably like have the normal variant, and then this one would like follow up, I guess. And of course, we can put like these shoulder like energy lightning effects for when he's firing off his Corona beam. So I'm trying to get these positioned right. Okay, now I got it. And I apologize, almost completely forgot to get into accessories. But anyway, yeah, there you have it with his Corona beam like energy like lightning effects on his shoulder crystals. So yeah, that pretty much concludes it for this review. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. I hope you guys got some good information out of this. But anyway, guys, to wrap it all up, thank you guys all so much for watching. Your viewership is much appreciated. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, stay safe, take care, God bless, stay powered up, and peace out.